Hi there, we're at the Cronos technical analysis session through the Wyckoff lens. So 2 weeks ago we talked about and we asked a question like, since we were at the PSY, the preliminary supply period, so is the buying climax going to happen? And after 2 weeks now, it seems like it has happened, and more than that, the automatic reaction seems to be happening as well, this red candle this week. But is this level already the lowest for the automatic reaction? We don't know yet. There seems to be some support looking at the wick, and it's close to the level of the automatic reaction last time at this light blue level at 0.153. So in the macro scale, in the weekly time frame, after the automatic reaction, there may be a second test to somewhere near the light blue key level, or like even the blue level where the buying climax touched. So I'll put in a second test tag over here. Given what the price move we're seeing, I don't think there would be a squeeze as of this moment. Yeah, the purple is still deviating from the orange, so that's a quick check with the Bollinger Band currently squeeze. So let's expect some horizontal trading going on for the next few weeks before our next session comes. And if we go to the micro, previously we put in 4 tags, and all 4, well, 3 out of 4 happened because these two won't. They're basically the same thing, just that the second test went above the buying climax. That's why we call this an upthrust. So I would remove the ST, but the buying climax did happen back in July, late July, and then eventually it came down for an automatic reaction during the beginning of this month, and eventually, a few days back, just on Monday, it showed us an upthrust. So now it's coming down from the upthrust. It's more like the price retracement from the buying climax, this automatic reaction kind of scenario. So looking at this, as well as the declining sell volume, looking at the volume bars at the bottom, it looks like it's finding support near the light blue key area, key level. Remember, I say that this is a level, not just one price point. So anywhere around this line, it's going to be a sufficient support. So if we go back to the weekly chart and see where this is, so I took this as a reference point, but we see that is not the exact, like, just one point kind of scenario. If we look at this wick, it went deeper, so that's where we are seeing now this candlestick's bottom, the body, not the wick. The body is now at the level of this wick, so it's a reference level, and it's going to deviate by like a tiny notch. So I would still consider the price within this key level, and if that happens, I'm just going to check and squeeze again. There's no squeeze over here, but if the horizontal trading, the narrow range trading we're seeing, continues around this level, that means the squeeze will quickly happen, maybe as soon as in a week's time. So when that happens, because the price is still within an upward channel, so by that I mean what we're seeing right now is basically within this upward channel. The price is finding support, interestingly, at the channel bottom. So if, or as long as the price doesn't fall outside of this channel, the chance of the uptrend is, still exists. So let me quickly check to make sure this is the case, because this may be too steep. I'll have to adjust it, because when I look at it, it looks more like this. rather than the earlier one. So it's getting, let me change to yellow, closer and closer to this tip. So we see this little triangle or angle over here, right? That cross is August 23rd, but usually a breakout doesn't wait till the very tip to happen. Sometimes it would, but more than not it will happen before that. So anytime from now to 23rd, meaning in less than a week's time, it has to show, the price has to show us whether it's going back, heading up to test or retest the blue level at around 17 cents, or it has to fall outside of this upward channel. It's not a surprising thing for it to fall outside of an upward channel, because given the stage of Wyckoff in the daily time frame, even if it comes up for a little bit of last point of supply, it can totally come down to show us a sign of weakness, and then it can start or initiate a new uptrend to the upwards of the distribution. So it doesn't signal the end of a distribution cycle, but it signals this climb is over and it has to start another climb if there's sufficient demand. So I'll borrow this over here and I'll put it right there. So there is a chance that the price would come down to around the green level or somewhere lower than the green to show us a sign of weakness, but then it doesn't mean it will eventually die down unless the entire market is going through a turmoil. There's still a chance for it to go up for an upwards of the distribution. So there are two possibilities over there. If we look at the weekly, if in the daily, those are the two scenarios, one towards the upwards of the distribution, the other is towards the sign of weakness. In the weekly chart, it will be in similar sense. There may be, well, actually not the sign of, maybe it is a sign of weakness. It depends on when it happens, right? So if, say, this automatic reaction isn't over, so when it comes down for the daily chart, that means it's going to come down to the sign of weakness. That's one way it can happen. Or if this is already the low point of the automatic rally and it goes up to a second test or even higher for an upthrust, what happens in the daily is the upthrust of the distribution scenario. So it will go test the blue level or even the white level at close to 20 cents. So that's scenario 2. Scenario 3, the tricky thing is it may come up for an LPSY and then eventually come to the sign of weakness. So that means over here we will see the same thing, an LPSY and sign of weakness, pretty much in sync with the weekly chart. So let's see which scenario would play out. But currently the declining selling volume may be an indication that a positive scenario is more likely. So first, horizontal trading may be edging towards this corner, and somewhere in the middle of the week or near the end of the week a breakout will happen. So as of now, it's too early to tell by looking at the chart, but like in a few days time, that's what I can tell now, that some kind of price action, clearer price action would happen, because it's getting nailed, basically, it's getting cornered. So that's all for Cronos for today, but we've got one more session because I've received a comment, a request suggesting that I cover Aero Finance. Right?